For our capstone, we chose to play Fortnite to represent war and the tactics they used. And to start off, the Revolutionary War, the weapons they used were flint-knocked muskets, the cannon, rifles, and pistols. They also used swords and hatchets. And for tactics, they would use spy networks, and they would use skirmish-style fighting, where they would fight in straight lines behind each other and use open terrain around them for cover. That information was brought to us by American Revolution Facts. And for the Civil War, the weapons they used were a rifle, the Henry repeating rifle, which changed the war and how it has been and for the future. And they used the Lamont pistol and a Gatling gun. And the Confederate used sawed-off shotguns and cut-down hunting rifles. The Henry repeating rifle gave a huge advantage to the Battle of Little Bighorn and the Civil War. In the Revolutionary War, after one shot you had to reload, but with the repeating rifle, the Civil War made it easier to shoot faster, and it gained an advantage. And the tactics, they decided to destroy the other team's resources, and they would run as fast as they could until in range of their enemy. And they would have a right wing led by Lieutenant General, and left wing by the Commissary General. And that information was
Robert
from
Dion.
the source by John Sipkin, Civil War Tactics, and the Henry repeating rifles, circa 1865. And then for the final war, World War II, they would use sniper rifles, Garand with rotating bolt, tanks, machine guns, knives, bayonets, and sidearm pistols. For their tactics, they'd use blitzkrieg. It's a coordinate maneuver with military tactics to help out their ground troops by sending in tanks and aerial support to infiltrate the opposing lines. And they use semi-automatic weapons. That information was from the episode 52, Forefronts of World War II Military Tactics. And for...
Talk about Gettysburg yet?
Yeah, sure.
Alright. The Battle of Gettysburg, cause and effect. The battle started because Robert E. Lee planned to invade the North and force an immediate end to war. It failed. The effect was the Unions wanting to give the North a moral boost and put a definite end to Confederate General Robert E. Lee bold plan to invade the North. Union victory led by George E. Meade. Gettysburg ended Confederate General Robert E. Lee's ambitious second quest to invade the North and bring the Civil War to a swift end. The loss their dashed and hopes of the Confederate States of America to become independent nation. 3,000. What's that? Oh yeah, the Union had 3,155 people killed, and the Confederate had 3,903 people killed. All done.
That was brought to you by the cause and effect of Gettysburg. I gotta talk about the Battle of Saratoga.
Okay.
So in the Revolutionary War, the big shift in momentum was the Battle of Saratoga, and General John Burgoyne, who was the commander of the British Army, wanted to take over the Hudson River in order to diminish the chance of France joining the war. And he thought they could easily beat the Continental Army because of their troop size, but they underestimated the capabilities of General Horatio Gates with the Continental Army. The British Army ended up losing, and which led to France joining the battle and helping them win the war, which is a main reason why America got the independence that they have today. And that was brought to you by American Revolutionary Facts.
Am I up?
Yeah.
Alright, here we go. The Holocaust, the Nazis believed that the Germans were racially superior. They believed Jews were a threat to the so-called German racial community. While Jews were the primary victims, Nazis also targeted other groups of persecution and murder. The Nazis claimed that Roma people with disabilities and homosexuals. The Germans killed over 6 million people, and roughly 1 million of them were children. The aftermath of the Holocaust left millions in refugees, including many Jews who had lost nearly all of their families.
Is that me?
Wait, but that was from the source. The where is that one?
U.S. history.
Oh yeah, the history documenters, the Holocaust. Now it's you, Dane.
The big thing. So each war had the differences in the way they fought, and the Revolutionary War stood their ground in a line until one side lost most of their soldiers. The Civil War used more tactics and skills by having like a right wing and a left wing led by generals. They also would stack lines in front, so three rows of soldiers in like to have more of a shield spread out. And in World War II there was much more intense as America had tanks and jets to use to help win the war. They would break the enemy lines with vehicles, send airstrikes, and then infiltrate troops, ground troops. The weapons weren't that different from the Revolutionary War and the Civil War, except during the Civil War, the Henry repeating rifle was introduced. It also made it easier to shoot as it was more reloadable and reliable. It was just, yeah, you could carry more ammo and it wouldn't get jammed as much. And it helped change the way that we fought for the rest of the wars. And I'm getting lost in this thing.
Oh, and I'm back.
I'll finish that. And then
Okay.
while
Yeah,
looking
pause.
at the change in past wars, there are many differences, but there are also patterns. Battle of Saratoga and Gettysburg had huge difference in casualties and total soldiers. In Saratoga, the total American casualties was 90 soldiers, while Gettysburg had a total of 51,000 American deaths, which was from the Confederate and Union Army, considering they were both from America. Even with those numbers seeming like a lot, during World War II, a total of 405,399 Americans died. Since the amount of soldiers rose from each war, so did the amount of casualties. The timeline of battles doesn't really have a pattern. The Battle of Saratoga had 2 battles fought, and they were 18 days apart. The battles themselves lasted around 7 hours. The Battle of Gettysburg lasted 3 days, but ended when the Confederates retreated to Virginia. Finally, the Battle of Aiken during World War II lasted 18 days and ended in an American victory. The weapons, casualties, and time fighting shows the differences and complications of war over time. As time went on, so did technology and populations, which caused better weapons and more soldiers. That was brought from the source Evolution of Warfare, How War Has Changed Over Time, and included bits from each other source. That's what we had to talk about, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we just say our thoughts, like, How do you guys feel about like what happened to people in the war, like the Holocaust?
I don't think it was that nice.
It was definitely unfair because
They had like no choice
and they didn't think they were
of if they can even survive or anything. So
Like, they definitely, some of them got like tricked into going there. They probably thought it was like something different than what it was.
yeah, they definitely. Kids that and the children that they were doing wrong. They were just sent away to these camps away from their families, and their lives were. Jack's down.
I ran.
I don't know, I feel like if Germany wouldn't have done the things they did, like, World War II could have never even happened. Like, they went against what they said, they broke treaties,
yeah,
they did everything that they should not have done.
Oh my goodness. I'm
Corbin,
getting
don't die.
circled. I'm getting
you have to
circled.
win. You have to win.
I'll try my best.
Is Corbin the last one?
Which side would you guys have supported, Confederate or the Union?
Union.
Yeah, Union.
Which side did win
Union
again?
all the way.
Union was the one that wanted to get rid of slavery, and Confederate wanted it.
Confederate was the South.
Well, Confederate was the South. Yep. I feel like no wars really need to happen. Like, they're all so unnecessary. Like,
Well, like World War, like the Holocaust. I feel like if Hitler kept like taking over Europe, war ended up kind of becoming necessary.
yeah. But, like, he didn't need to do what he did, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, if I was, like, ever a world leader, I would, like, resort to peace first. Which is what, like, America did, but there's always, like, that one, like, place or country that wants violence.
Corbin's using his revolution.
He's using his revolutionary, muzzle-loading flint-knocked musket.
He's using the land to blend in and to hide. I would like another reason I would support the Union is because like if we weren't to abolish slavery, I feel like we would just kind of be stuck in like I don't know really how to explain it. Like we wouldn't develop as much as a country as we would if we decided to like basically try something new, change and for the better.
No, I know what you mean. That makes sense. Cause like, if we wouldn't have done that, we would have been like so behind in our time period. Like it gave us a boost for technology.
Yeah.
T-Mon, what do you think about just like the war for slavery, no slavery?
What do you mean?
Like, do you think that war was a good thing to do, or do you think they could have done something different?
No, I don't think that you can get rid of it any other way. 'Cause I feel like
Yeah.
they would have just kept on doing it. So
Yeah, like-
I feel like the war was the best thing to get rid of it. Unless they could have did a, what do you call that? A treaty thing.
A treaty, but it was with their own
Um,
country, so I don't even think you can do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know, that's how they could have done it other than the war to end it.
Yeah. And the Revolutionary War, that was like a super necessary war, I actually think. Because we needed freedom, and Britain was not good leaders. What do you think about the development of war? Now Corbin can talk with us. Corbin, how do you feel about the Civil War?
To be honest, I have no clue.
Like, do you think the battle for slavery was needed?
Oh, yes, I think the battle for slavery was needed. Because it's not really, like, right to judge a race by their, like, skin color, but I agree with what Dane said, that we would be stuck in a time without as much technology as we have. That's how I feel.
Yeah, it like forced us to have technology because we didn't just have workers.
Yeah.
And not just like that specifically, like specifically slavery, but like by changing slavery and them seeing how like it works, like it wasn't a bad idea. It's not like America went under, like, so
Yeah.
I feel like it got them to try other things to try and improve the way they did things.
Well,
Just
what do
to
you
think
what do you
stay
guys?
outside the box.
Well, do you think would have happened if like the Hitler would have ended up winning World War II? Like, what would have happened if the effect wasn't how it happened? What happened if they would have taken over Europe?
I think he would have went for just
I feel like he
would have just kept going for more power.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He would just try and take over everyone
He would have
until
tried
eventually he didn't, and
total
then he
domination.
have to go back to what he has. And then,
Yeah.
I feel like he would have, I feel once he took over Europe and then moved towards other countries, it would like he wouldn't really have anyone to fight. It
Yeah.
would just be like he would basically be like a president, or I don't really know how to word it. Like,
He'd be
be
like,
a leader.
yeah, of like everything.
And like how in some countries, like the only pictures they're allowed in their house are like pictures of their leader. Like I feel like if Hitler like
Oh, it would have been like North
it
Korea.
would have been like that.
Yeah, it
and,
would have
like,
been
we
that.
wouldn't- Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to have like pictures of like our family. It would have to be pictures of Hitler if we had pictures.
I didn't like think of that. Like, do you think we would be under control of Hitler?
Yeah.
Like I feel like Fortnite, for example, I feel like it would have been based like I feel like everything would have been basically based around him.
All games would have been regulated.
Yeah. like,
School,
they probably could only have like a few.
we probably would have
schools.
learned half the day about our great history.
Yeah.
And then
Then,
yeah.
I guess, finally talking about the last competency, continuity and change. What do you think the main thing that changed was for war, like over time?
The weapons, probably. And strategies. Because they only went from having a couple things that they could use, then they went to getting explosives and
What was the last competency?
all that stuff.
The continuity and change, like what changed over time.
And the strategies went from just standing in line to hiding behind stuff and surprising their
And
opponents.
like development of weapons, like with the weapons that came like after like the musket, they were able to be farther back, because when they just had the musket, they would only be able to like shoot once, and then they would have to like continue fighting their enemy or with like up close and with knives and swords.
Yeah,
What are the things that clip onto the end of
Bayonets.
muskets? Bayonets, that's what.
personally, I think the biggest change was like technology,
Yeah, for sure.
like being able to build this stuff, knowing what tactics work, and like the atomic bombs in World War II, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I feel like we did not need to do that though.
I feel like we just had too much power and just got greedy with it.
Like, we literally threatened them, if you don't surrender, we're gonna, like, destroy your country.
I feel like that's a little messed up.
Yeah. Like, I don't, like, Germany did awful things in that war, but we destroyed 2 huge cities in Japan.
Yeah, that's kind of like another thing. Like, people picture America to be like the best, and like we didn't do anything wrong. But like, there were definitely things that we shouldn't be proud of, and that we shouldn't like.
We for sure had some errors.
Yeah. I think that's good.
Yeah, should be good.
That's
Alright.
pretty good.
That was our Fortnite capstone. Hope you enjoy.